Hi guys, today we're out at Holy Brook, which is just behind me in West Horton North. We're going to have a look around because it's always nice to get out in the nice sunshine. So, let's go and have a nice walk. Well, we have a choice. We could go that way, down into the dark. Ooh. We could go that way into the light. Ooh. We could go that way into the light, which is back to the estates. Or we could go back where we came. I don't think we'll go back where we came. Where shall we go?
I think that we should strike out, and I quite like the dark side because they've got cool coloured lightsabers and really good powers. I mean, where else can you get your own fully functioning Death Star to lay waste to any planets of people that you don't really agree with?
You are a nerd. Let's go.
Yeah. I was gonna do nerd side represent.
Tough.
Nerd side represent.
I do love it coming out here. The greenery, the sounds of the birds, all sorts. It's brilliant. It's a little bit overgrown, but what can you do? Reminds me an awful lot of the area near my house when I was a kid. There used to be a track that went between Coxall and Youghfall, or Old Quarrington as some people call it, but it was actually Youghfall. Don't know why it's called that, but there was always a track there. It was very much like this, heavily wooded, but with the little bits here and there of open space. And then it was just, like, we can go out and you could be anywhere. We had adventures of all kinds back then. So always nice to come back here and have a look around because it's a lovely area and it reminds me of childhood, so bonus.
This looks like at one point it's been a pond for fishing, but it's all silted up and the water level's dropped.
You could be right.
Well, no, you can see that wooden thing that the fishermen would sit on. Although it could just be the hot weather. When we get some rain, it might fill back up. But that is quite choked.
Yeah.
Don't fancy the chances of any fish.
I doubt there are any.
That's interesting. It looks like this fills up with runoff from somewhere. Well, maybe that side does, and there's a gully across here. So it must be intended to equalise the water between the two when it gets quite high.
Well, someone's been making a little fort here, as Jenny's mentioned.
Horticulture was never really my big thing, but I'll tell you something that was my big thing. Building dens! Oh yeah, look at that. I could do with some ferns or something. My training, such as it was, would have been to get that baby covered up with something like ferns, trample down the grass inside, and make it look like from a distance that there's nothing there, it's just sort of greenery.
And I love it. This is the kind of thing I used to do as a kid, only we wouldn't have probably built something like this. Instead, you see here we've got this little tree which has an area underneath. I'm not sure you can see it very well, but that's what we would have used. We'd have just climbed inside that and used that as a makeshift shelter for our games and hanging out. That would have been our thing. In fact, next time I'm up in the northeast to visit family, we'll have a look at where I used to hang out. I think that'd be nice. Alright, let's have a quick wander around. I'm loving this is brilliant. Jen, however, has just found something. What says you found, Jen?
It's a really rickety bridge. Oh, the rickety the better. Well, we could plunge to our doom in a ravine. Or at least the childhood version of myself would have thought that and would have played a game along those lines. We'd have probably...
It's not a rickety bridge. What are you on about?
We'd have, as a child, we'd have probably all as a group dared each other to go across there. And there'd been some kind of initiation ceremony if you wanted to be in our gang. And there'd always be somebody with a BMX who would be practically welded to the saddle and he'd have just ridden his bike across there.
A bicycle centaur.
Is that the officially approved term?
No, it's what H.P. Lovecraft used to say about himself when he was a kid.
A bicycle centaur, so he just lived welded to his bicycle.
Pretty much.
I must admit, I was when I grew up, I had some, not always, but an awful lot of hideous cast hand-me-down bikes. I believe one of them it was called a Stowaway, and it was from the 1960s or 70s.
Oh my goodness.
And it's one of those bikes that folds in half.
For me, I was the oldest kid, so I got everything new, which is an advantage. So I had this 21 gear rally mountain bike, which I pretty much lived on for about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. My goodness, it's a long time in here, kid. Let's have a look at this ravine that Jen thinks that it would have been an initiation to cross as a kid.
I don't know about you, but I'm getting the distinct impression that A, it's been here a while, and B, it's been eroded somewhat since it was built. There's clearly been more wood across. There no longer is more wood across. And that concrete does look remarkably like it's been undercut dramatically. So the chances are this little trickle floods when we have very, very heavy rain. It probably thunders down here. You can see that it's scoured quite badly.
Well, I managed to get over without a problem, so are you coming?
Yeah, okay. Should I plunge to my doom, then be sure to point out that it probably looked funny in the process.
You did alright there.
Yeah. Well, I survived the crossing. My extraordinary adult weight, which is probably 3 times what I used to weigh as a child, has not managed to destroy what's left of this bridge, so we've made it across safely. And we're going to go that away.
Right away!
I believe that we have found the beaten track, and we are now on the beaten track, having previously strayed from the beaten track and gone through that dark and dreary jungle. And there's Zoe being really stupid. No, I jest. It's just having fun. It's just so nice to be out here in the community. Out and visible. Doing stuff. Watching. Waiting. Judging.
Go on.
Wallying.
Oh, I can do that.